Are you going to do that? Are you going to go after Joe Biden?
I'm really looking to make our country successful. Retribution will be through success. If we can make this country successful, that would be that would be such a great achievement.
A great answer from President-elect Donald Trump, but does he mean it? Or is he planning on using his time in the White House to go after his political enemies? Now, this topic came up while discussing Trump's nominee, Kash Patel, as the director for the FBI. Kristen Welker, host of the show, Meet the Press, of course, basically asked President-elect Trump if he'll have Patel go after his political enemies, and specifically President Joe Biden. Here's what Trump had to say.
Is it your expectation, though, that Kash Patel will pursue investigations against your political enemies?
No, I don't think so.
Do you want to see that happen?
If they were crooked, if they did something wrong, if they have broken the law, probably they went after me. They went after me and I did nothing wrong.
Well, let me ask you this. You said President Biden, quote, that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. You said that during the campaign.
Where?
You said that on Truth Social, June 12th, 2023. I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family. Are you going to do that? Are you going to go after Joe Biden?
I'm really looking to make our country successful. I'm not looking to go back into the past. I'm looking to make our country successful. Retribution will be through success. If we can make this country successful, that would be that would be such a great achievement. Bring it back.
That was honestly a pretty shocking response from Donald Trump. I don't want to be Pollyannish and just believe him at face value, but I really want to believe him at face value because it would be great if we could move forward, right? It would be great if he actually, didn't engage in like the grievance politics that he engaged in so much during his first term. But I'm curious, what do you think, Cenk?
So he's probably going to try to do as much as he can until there's too much pushback. Classic Trump.
So you do think he's going to go after?
Yeah, I think they're going to go after some people. So look, are we right to be concerned? Of course we're right to be concerned. He said he'd do it. Kristen Welker did a great job there of challenging him on his actual quote. Kash Patel has an enemies list of 60 people, and he said he should be, he's appointing him to the head of the FBI. So a lot. I mean, look at this guy. Okay. Anyways, so there's tons of maniacs around Trump who can't wait to go after their political enemies. So, but will Trump unleash them? I don't know. And to what degree will he unleash them? I don't know. So I was on the Patrick Bet-David podcast and I said, look guys, you keep claiming that Democrats are wrong to freak out about this stuff, but you guys have said that you're gonna arrest some people. So are you or aren't you? And they said, no. And then they said, Vinny, who I like otherwise, is a right-wing populist, was like, oh yeah, well, we gotta arrest Dr. Fauci. I'm like, no, you don't have to arrest Dr. Fauci. That's not a thing you have to do, right? And then we got into a conversation about how you arrest people when they've committed a crime. So look, the real problem is there's this gray zone that the establishment has been putting people in, which Trump is in, which is, the normal thing is, if you're a normal person and you commit a crime, you're in a world of trouble, right? If you're rich and powerful, and especially if you're among the elites, you can commit almost any crime you want and you're not at all in trouble, okay? And so Trump was in the elite category and all of a sudden they put him in the gray zone of people that they're willing to prosecute, right? Now, but the Faucis of the world, in my opinion, and all of the people on the enemies list are not in a gray zone. They didn't even commit any crimes. So in order to even put someone in a gray zone, they had to have committed a crime and then you choose to prosecute when you otherwise wouldn't have because they were elites, right? So for example, Barack Obama, and Anna and I talked about this off air. He said the same thing, but in a way that I thought was harmful. He said, we look forward, we don't look backwards. But wait, what were we looking at backwards? Not that we disagree with Cheney and Bush, but there's specific criminal law breaking, right? So the torture, which was clearly illegal, not just under international law, but under US law. The warrantless wiretapping, clearly illegal, right? So I wanted to look backwards on those crimes, right?
Agreed.
But I didn't want to look backward at people who I hated, like John Bolton, for example, who to my knowledge has not committed a crime.
Maybe a little bit with John Bolton.
Okay, no, of course, and she's kidding. And look, I despise John Bolton. but they're like, you have to have a crime to prosecute.
Yes, I agree.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do see what you're saying. I want to go to the next clip because Welker wasn't willing to drop it. She kept, asking follow-ups on this question. Let's take a look.
I want to pause here because what you're saying is significant. Because you wrote on Truth Social in 2023 that you're going to appoint a real special prosecutor to go after Joe Biden. Now you're saying you're not going to do that.
I will say this. No, I'm not doing that unless I find something that I think is reasonable. But that's not going to be my decision. That's going to be Pam Bondi's decision, and to a different extent, Kash Patel, assuming they're both there. And I think they're both going to get approved. But while you ask me that, what they've done to me with weaponization is a disgrace.
We'll get to some of that.
No, wait. You can't do one without the other. In the history of our country, nothing like this has ever happened.
So when he mentions Pam Bondi, that is the individual, the woman that he chose to serve as his attorney general. That's if, of course, she gets confirmed. But, Cenk, remember, she's asking a very specific question about Joe Biden, right? And once Donald Trump is president, Biden's the former president. No one knows better than Donald Trump how much the prosecution of Trump led to his rise in the approval rating, right? In empathy or support toward Trump from the American people. So maybe that's what's informing his decision here, right? Because it did backfire on the Democrats when they pursued prosecution of Donald Trump. And you guys all know where I stand on that issue. He did have possession of classified documents and refused to turn them over. He's not some victim here. He did the wrong thing when he could have done the right thing. Obviously, the fake elector scheme is another example of prosecution that he thinks was totally unfair. I disagree. I don't think it was unfair. But nonetheless, those prosecutions, and especially, the prosecution that Alvin Bragg pursued in regard to, the financial crimes that Donald Trump had committed, that did lead to a wave of empathy toward Donald Trump. And Trump doesn't want empathy toward Joe Biden. So maybe that's what's informing his decision here. I don't know.
Yeah, so look, all right, I'm certain about certain things, okay? So as I explained, like if you break the law and you're a regular citizen, you're in trouble. If you break the law and you're in the elites, you're not in trouble at all, generally speaking. That's why I'm explaining this gray zone thing, because what Trump is actually outraged by, and I think that this is a better way of framing it than I've said in the past, is that he's screaming without saying these words, I'm in the elite bucket. You're not supposed to prosecute me, and you chose to prosecute me even though you normally don't prosecute people in the elite bucket, right? And there is truth to that. So that's why I explained, Obama could have chosen to prosecute Bush and Cheney, but he chose not to prosecute them. The elites always choose not to prosecute each other. In fact, that's the decision Merrick Garland made about Trump in the beginning. He chose not to prosecute until 2.5 years in. And that is why the timing, and we've said that from day one on this show, always consistent. The timing was political. So Merrick Garland decided to take him out of the elite bucket and move him into the normal citizen bucket where you're not allowed to break the laws. Now, did Trump break those laws? Yes, he definitely broke those laws. What he's saying is, I can't believe that I'm in the elites and you moved me into an average person's bucket.
That's a good point. That is a good point, yeah.
And so now what is Trump going to do? Well, first thing is, look at the past. He said, lock her up, lock her up. They all chanted lock her up about Hillary Clinton. And then he chose not to prosecute, okay? So that was interesting. He kept the elites in the elite bucket, including Hillary Clinton. So now this time around, there's two different factors. One is that apparently is his natural inclination. And two is what Anna's saying. He realizes, well, that made me super popular. I don't know if I want to make them super popular, right? And by the way, Anna's right. And if that is Trump's, Trump decides to ignore that instinct and goes to prosecute them, everyone who's on that enemies list will become enormously popular. In fact, when I read Kash Patel's enemies list, I'm like, damn it, I'm not on it. Okay, so like those are going to be the heroes of the resistance, et cetera, et cetera. My God, if you put Adam Schiff on that list, you're going to screw us over because we're going to have corporate. He'll run for president. He'll get so popular.
I mean, you have people like Alyssa Farah Griffin on that list.
Come on, you're going to arrest your former staffer
for like communications. Yeah,
come on. So look, if you're a right winger and you're saying, oh, you guys are just demagoguing, there's no reason to be concerned, that's absurd. Trump and all of his allies have said 1,000 times that they're going to arrest these people, right? Now, if on the other hand you're a Democrat and you say, oh, I'm positive the gulags are next, hold on. Gulags haven't happened. He never arrested Hillary Clinton. He hated the weaponization of, in his mind, law enforcement against the elites, and he views himself as part of the elites. So hold on. But if he goes to arrest a single person that didn't commit a crime, then we're all gonna go nuts together and fight back as hard as we possibly can. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.